So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Why do people still pick iPhone in 2021? No matter if there are phones that are arguably better, or you can say arguably cheaper for a much better deal, or you can even say arguably giving you the same amount of software updates at a cheaper price point. Why do people continue like year after year to keep picking iPhone? In this episode, I'm gonna do my best to explain what I've analyzed over the years and why I think people still buy the iPhone. We'll begin with the first reason, which is for social status. Now, there's just no phone out there, I feel like, the iPhone that people buy just to say, you know what, I'm a class above. I use the iPhone, you don't. I feel like this is just some snobbery with the iPhone, just having one. You want to say something about yourself. You want to say that I have the best of the best. Now, I'm not saying you particularly, you watching, is this person. I'm just saying there is something associated with social standing, social class. Just having the iPhone might say something about you, but really it doesn't always. But still, I just think that's one of the reasons people buy iPhone. It's just a social status kind of thing, just saying I have Apple, I have the best brand, I have the luxury brand. This is one of the reasons why I think people are still buying iPhone today, regardless of what comes out in the competition. And so the next reason I think people are still buying iPhones in 2021 is a pretty legitimate reason, and that's that they have other Apple products such as an iPad to go along with it, or they do have themselves the AirPods that just work seamlessly well with their iPhones, or they even have an Apple Watch and they're just not willing to try or use other smartwatches. This is their favorite watch on planet Earth, and the Apple Watch is definitely one that is one of the better watches out there. So just the ecosystem, all of these Apple products together, is just hard to compete with. Now, Samsung is doing a really good job in this area as well, having Galaxy watches, having Galaxy Buds, having Galaxy tablets, everything to go with the Samsung experience. But over here for Apple, they've been doing this a long time, so people are already hooked into their product lines going along with these beautiful iPhones at the same time. So I think that's the second reason why people are still picking iPhone in 2021, is their accessory products along with their services and other things is just really pretty strong for Apple devices. So my third reason why people continue to buy Apple products is the emotional connection to the brand. Now, there's few brands that achieve the same emotional connection as the Apple brand, because Apple values more than just the phone. They value art, they value musicians, they value, the teams, the small business teams that work to create these products. They value the store experience, having the Apple stores, looking super clean, super minimal, letting you use and touch all the devices. Well, currently in the pandemic, not many stores, but prior to it and going forward in the future, we should be able to get back to a point where we can go check out all the products. But they just value more than just the phone itself, and I think that means a lot to the customer. So yeah, there's an emotional, connection to this brand that I don't see on a lot of other phone brands. Honestly, it's just hard to compete with that, especially when you're dealing with someone's emotions. That's a really strong indicator that somebody's probably going to buy the next thing. Now, my next point kind of counters the last point, because some people are like, bro, I don't have no emotional connection. I'm just habitually used to using iPhone. It's just going to throw a kink in my system and my efficiency. So if you've been using iPhone a long time, some people just don't want the headache, the hassle of switching. It's just not worth their time. They're too busy. They're doing things. They're already used to the way this works. This is akin to if you've been using a laptop or computer 3 to 5 years, maybe even longer. You're already used to how that laptop works. You just want to get another Windows PC, for example, because you know how it works. You don't got time to be dealing with a new system, throwing a wrench in your brain. You just want to get on with the whole, daily experience of life, and you just want to make things seamlessly and smooth. And the iPhone's been in your life a long time, so definitely will continue to do that for you. So it's just easy, basically, to just stay with the phone you already know how to use. Habit. It's just a groove in your brain where you're just used to this thing. I think that's a real reason why people continue to use iPhone or pick iPhone in 2021 as well. And the next reason is a polished experience. It just looks nice compared to some competitors. Not all, but some phones just don't have this same level of polish. It's kind of like a minimal yet sophisticated luxury car for a phone. So you can kind of compare it to that versus like a car that's kind of trying to be luxury but not quite there. this one is definitely there. All the icons, all of the things are just designed properly. You could tell they spent time to make sure this is a cohesive experience. I mean, just look at the way these bubbles around in the app library look compared to the actual icon. It's almost the same design, just very thoughtful. And then if you look at the control center, look at the way these circles look. They just match perfectly in here. There's just a lot of thought when it comes to making sure everything is cohesive and clean on the iPhone experience. When you hold down here, we tap here, look at the way the pages look. They kind of match how the app library looks. It's just a very thoughtful, polished experience while also retaining that minimal feel that we love from iPhone. So definitely a polished experience is why many people just think, you know, other competing phones, some of them are just ugly. The way they look, the software just doesn't look clean. So I think that's a real hook for iPhone as well. So my next one is the cameras. I think that people are still buying the iPhone because of the cameras. First of all, Apple's one of the best at marketing their cameras, but they also really do deliver for smartphones, especially these new Pro devices. They're insane with the way they just take photos and videos at literally a professional result without having to do any work. It's the best result you're going to get for simplicity on probably any consumer camera product out there, because it's just easy. You don't really got to do much of anything, and you're just getting photos that some people on like real cameras would have to tweak the settings to get the same level of photography skills. So, and this is coming because software algorithms and things like that built right into the camera, plus them using some of the best sensors on a phone today, are going to give you results that are pretty hard to beat. So definitely really nice. And their video, not only is their video really good, it matches up very nicely with the front cameras, doing 4K 60 on the front and rear. So they have some of the best selfie cameras on the market, and that's important for social media, because in social media, I do think when you are taking, you know, social media photos and sharing things, and here, like for Instagram, for example, if we go here and we make a feed story, for example, some competing phones just can't give you the same video within social media. So this is one of the reasons why I think people continue to buy these iPhones, is just these cameras. They're just amazing, they're easy to use, and they give you results that you want out of a phone pretty much every single time. So the next reason is the local Apple stores. They matter because they offer you something that you don't get on a lot of other phone brands. There's not many phone brands where you can just say, hey, something's wrong with my SE. I'm gonna go take it to the Apple store and I'm gonna just get something fixed real quick on this. I'm gonna replace my screen real quickly. Sometimes Apple even gives you a free phone. It depends on the model. They don't always do that, but if it's an older model, it's not worth much. They don't just got the time. They'll just go downstairs. They'll get you out of the safe. They'll get you the phone, the same phone, be like, be on with your day if you're okay with that. If you really want it fixed, they'll fix it as well. Not many phones you can do that. You got to send them in. You got to find one of their local partners that they partner with, like an, you know, You Break iFix kind of place, something like that. You know, you got to find these little stores. It's just annoying, and you got to deal with third parties. With Apple, you fix it, you go right to the store, they take care of you. That's a big deal why I think a lot of people still buy the iPhone. Plus, you know, you see them pretty much in every major city, so there's always going to be an Apple store in pretty much every major urban area. So next up is the Blue Bubble subconscious programming. So what do I mean by this? Well, the blue bubbles put you in a state of you're in a special, exclusive iPhone group because you're using an iPhone. Plus, people like to see when they read your messages. They like to see when you're typing because they're thirsty to see when you're going to text back. But the real reason is that a lot of people have just been programmed to believe, you know, if you got the blue bubble, you just got the better way to message me. And if you got the green bubble, I don't like that. So definitely, this is a reason why people, I think, buy iPhone. One of the reasons is that the iMessage experience is just hard to beat because, you know, you can see when people read, you can see when they're typing, they have all those features within the iMessage, and it's really something that I think has been programmed over time that make people believe that it's just better to be messaging in that type of way. So the blue bubble is a big deal, I think, why people buy it. And I think if Apple brings the blue bubble and iMessage over to Android phones, many would love that. Even if they had to pay like a fee to download the application, they would love that because then they could easily communicate with their iPhone users, you know, friends and stuff like that. But Apple has no incentive to do that, so I don't see that happening anytime soon. And even the people that I text when I'm switching to Android, they always notice it. They're like, oh, here you go, you're on Android again, you're on the blue bubble. So this has a real strong effect on people's minds. So the next one is the superb customer service that you achieve by buying an iPhone. You don't even have to do anything, it's just built in. Anytime I've had a problem with iPhone, when I reach out to Apple support, they usually get on the phone fast. Like, they have plenty of employees. They're not gonna be waiting all day usually. And around the holidays, it can get a little bit busy, but most of the time you get on the phone with somebody who can clearly understand what you're saying, and they can clearly help you, and they clearly know what they're talking about, and they get you your problem fixed ASAP. So the customer service I've seen on some competing phones has been trashed by comparison. So huge reason to buy, or why people still pick it, I think, is because they just have superb customer service. It's one of the main things that can make or break a business is customer service, and Apple is keenly aware of this. So definitely very strong in this aspect. And if you look at all the top performing companies in the world, you can go look at the Forbes list, they usually have some of the best customer service in the world as well. So the next one is the marketing and hype. Just look at the marketing hype that happened for the iPhone 12, the 5G, the new Pacific blue color. This phone had a lot of hype, and it just sucks people in, especially when you got people talking about it to others. In the past, before the pandemic, people would be lining up outside of stores. This year it wasn't too much, or last year it wasn't too much lining up, but still, lining up does happen. And when you see that, there's a psychological phenomenon known as social proof, where people basically follow the actions of their peers and who they see and what they're doing. They follow the actions of the group. It's very well documented that this is a psychological phenomenon that happens a lot. So you will see this behavior happening very frequently, definitely for the iPhone experience, or for iPhone, buying the iPhone, because many people are just lining up to get it. Many people are talking about it. So of course, many people are going to see that and they're going to copycat and follow. It's just human nature. Seems that that's really what does happen. It's a conformity type. But here you go. This is one of the main reasons. It's definitely the marketing and hype, social proof, a real deal as to why people keep buying. And I think this will affect more of the younger crowd, like kids and teens. They see their friends with it, they're going to do it. Adults definitely have more analytical skills. They're going to be able to see different sides of the coin, different phones, and may consider a switch. But many younger generation are just going to go ahead and pick up the iPhone because that's what everyone else is doing. And those are basically my reasons why people still pick the iPhone. But I want to tell you why I still use iPhone. Well, number one, we review them on the channel. It's definitely important that I continue reviewing these products. But for me, I appreciate Apple's attention to detail when it comes to their hardware quality. I think they really pay attention to making sure their phone is almost as close to perfect as they can get it. They definitely improve on it every year, and I just like the attention to detail. I'm really obsessed with quality, but I'm a little bit upset about this year's iPhone 12 Pro Max getting scratches all over the stainless steel, but I did go with silver, so that probably is affecting me more than people who went with the darker colors, for example. But the second reason is I just kind of love how the products work together. So I definitely fall into that category of the ecosystem. I love how the AirPods work with this and how the Apple Watch works with this. It just all works seamlessly. It's very easy and efficient for the day-to-day, tasks you do on your digital devices in your digital world. So in conclusion, iPhone definitely delivers the good. This is not a knock on Apple just because some of these seem like I was going at them. This is definitely reasons I think why in 2021 people will continue to buy these iPhones. There's a lot of hype around them, and it continues to go, even if they've reached a saturation point where they basically have a phone for everybody. Everyone's had one. They're nothing too special anymore. They still keep selling in the droves, in the truckloads, in the millions. But let me know if you agree or disagree with my statements here in this video, and why you think why do you think people continue to buy these iPhones, or why you yourself are considering a switch, or you have bought iPhones in the past. Let us know in the comments section below. I'm very curious to know. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you all in the next episode. Nick here, and peace.